Okay, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. And shalom to the elect out there, push the word in sincerity and in truth. My name is Nazar Khad. This is GMS Precepts. And pretty much, move this over here because I'm on a computer. I got an article I wanted to get into that I just came across. All right, I'll just read it. This is from the Washington Post. This is from the Washington Post, and it reads, Trump to propose big cuts to safety net in new budget, slashing Medicaid and opening the door to other limits. Right? So, matter of fact, let me just read the first few paragraphs on this. Breaking news, right, of Trump slashing Medicaid. Okay? It says, President Trump's first major budget proposal on Tuesday will include massive cuts to Medicaid and call for changes to anti-poverty programs that will give states new power to limit a range of benefits. People familiar with the plan said, despite growing unease in Congress about cutting the safety net. Right. So it says massive cuts to Medicaid and call for changes to anti-poverty programs. Now, when he was running for president, this is one of the things that he said that he was going to do. He was going to what? Cut Medicaid. And who's that going to affect the most? Right? We already know that you got these damn gutter rats and other Edomites that are on the Medicaid as well. Okay? But this is really going to affect you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans the most. All right? And what's that going to do? That's the next scripture I got. That's part of the things that's going to be part of the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, Jacob's trouble meaning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives are going to go through hard times, man, and that's just a little inkling of it. All right, of the time of Jacob's trouble. I'm gonna read this next paragraph, and then I'm gonna get into something else. It says the second paragraph says for Medicaid, the state federal program that provides health care to low-income Americans, primarily are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. Trump's budget plan would follow through on a bill passed by House Republicans to cut more than $800 billion over 10 years. Okay? All right, so what, $800 billion over 10 years, if they were to divide that up by 10 years, that would be like $8 million dollars a year, I believe. Right? That would be $8 million a year. $8 million a year in cuts in Medicaid and other anti-poverty programs, right? It says the Congressional Budget Office has estimated that this could cut off Medicaid benefits for about 10 million people over the next decade. So that's a lot of cuts, man, and that's a lot of people suffering. Now, we know the next 10 years, we ain't going to be here, right? But Lord willing, we're not going to be here. But according to the prophecy, we know that we're right around that corner. So we're not going to make it to, I can say that with a lot of faith. We're not going to make it here. We ain't going to be here in the next 10 years, okay? But the point is still what? Trump is aiming, or these troubled times that are coming are aimed at you Israelites, man. All right? And in the midst of him, matter of fact, let me get that because I had it. This is Jeremiah 30:7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right? The time of Jacob's trouble. The time of Jacob's trouble consists of a lot of things. Like it consists of martial law, consists of the RFID chip, or what the scriptures refer to as a mark of the beast, getting pushed on the masses, getting pushed on you Israelites. That's going to be why, because it's either you take the chip or you die, man. And a lot of people are going to take it, and a lot of people are going to die, right? But the ones that do take it, all right, it already tells you in Revelation what happens if you do take that chip. You're going to basically die here. You're going to burn here in a lake of fire, all right? Because, the Most High already told you what happens if you do take that chip. All right? It says, alas, for that day is great, and there's so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So The next article I wanted to get into is 100 is in the midst of them cutting 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 Medicare and cutting all these all these programs to help to benefit you low income Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. Last week you had America or U.S. or Trump go over there to Saudi Arabia, and he signed a $110 billion arms deal. All right, I'll just read the title. It says the $110 billion arms deal Trump just signed with Saudi Arabia. Right. So what are these nations doing? All right, you have these nations, you have America and all these other nations. They're gearing up for war. All right, and they're cutting medical benefits. They're cutting all the money. They're basically using as much money as they can to build up their nuclear and military arsenal. Okay, and that's scriptural, man. That's in the scriptures. This is Joel the 3rd chapter. I'll start at this is 3:9. I'll start at 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's what the Lord is, that's what Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi is doing. Okay? He's stirring up, he's mustering the host of the battle, just like it tells you in Isaiah the 13th chapter. He's allowing all these small nations to build up their nuclear and military arsenal, their weaponry, to bring in that third world war, man. In America, they see that happening. In America, they see that happening, and they're doing the same thing. That's what. The point I want is the next verse. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. And that's what all these other nations are doing. They're putting all their money into their military. Okay? It says, let the weak say that I am strong. Now that's other nations. That's referring to the other nations that were 10, 20, 30 years ago. They weren't really strong militarily, right? But now they are. Okay? All right? So that's what I wanted to bring out. Trump is cutting Medicaid, which is severely going to affect you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives in the coming days, man. All right? So it's going to be some rough times approaching. And just like the scriptures say, but Jacob shall be saved out of it. All right? So until the next show, shalawam.